Hello there. Welcome to the Computer Lab YouTube channel. This is Teacher Shadrach. I welcome you once again to this very wonderful video. I call it wonderful because it is going to enlighten you on how to do final touches to your Microsoft Access database, especially if you are a student taking computer studies and you are finalizing your project. You're going to find this video being very useful. And just don't forget to subscribe to our channel, tell others about it by sharing. And if there will be anything that you would like to comment about this video or any other video, just drop it down there and we shall be able to respond back. Thank you. Now, this is a project which was done by one of the students in the class of 2021. I am using it, of course, because it's not the one which is being tested this year. This is a previous examination, and I always like us to use material for revision of the exams which have been done in the previous. And in this video, or rather in the database which is before us, you can see the student was able to handle almost everything that was supposed to be done. All the tables are there, the forms are there, the queries are there are reports and so on. Meaning the work must have been done perfectly by the student. I also believe that the relationships are also available at the back there. You can see the tables are nicely related, most of them with enforced referential integrity, meaning this is a student who knew exactly what it is to be done. Actually, I've gone through the project, and the only thing that made me just wonder is that the student, the time of demonstration, the way they presented the data is, you'll always sit with your examiner, your teacher, or whoever might be present to do the marking for you. You'll sit and do a demonstration. So the demonstration was like, we had to open each form in isolation. Then we go to another one, we open it, we open it and try to hear what it is doing in isolation and so on. But guys, I want to notify you there is a better way, especially if you are using an advanced version of Microsoft Access. Personally, I'm using version 2016, Microsoft Office 2016, and there is a tool which I don't know whether you have ever thought of. And this is the tool which is available under Create and then Navigation. So many times when we are doing our main menu form rather, most students will use command buttons. They will create a new form from scratch, and then they are going to use command buttons, and of course with the associated command, open form, and then they indicate which form is to be opened. Now version 2016 has got a simpler way of doing that, and if this is the version you are using, then you need not struggle so much creating command buttons for your main menu. So I have gone to create, if I would repeat, and I have said under navigation, there is a tool navigation, and then beneath it, now we have got various options of navigation windows that we can create for our system. The best one for the form that I'm imagining of is vertical tabs left. I'm going to include in this navigation form, I'm going to include all the data capturing forms. I had noted them somewhere. I had gone through this database and I saw there are those forms which we are designated to be used in data entry only. So this form, I'm going actually to use it for that purpose, forms for data capturing. And therefore, how do I utilize it? The time you drop in a navigation form, it will be shown in form of a layout view. It will come in layout view, and then when it is in layout view, this is how it will appear. And then it is now upon you to drop in the forms that you want to use in your form. Like for example, one form that I had seen is about customer registration. So what I will do, guys, is just to drag the form. Simply, I am doing it slowly so that you can follow my pointer, and then drop it above, just above the button, add new button. And there we are. We have already created a button which we shall be clicking, and then it will be displaying the customer's registration form. I do the same for driver's details entry form. Drag it and then I drop it just above the add new button, and there is a request like, do you want to save changes to the design of customer registration? I'll say yes, because I don't know why it has displayed that message. I did not tamper with the form. And then I go to another one which is for registration purposes, loaders. There was an issue about loaders. I drag it, drop it in there just above the add new button. And then what else was there was registration of small scale members, small scale farmers groups. I drop it again there, so I'm simply dragging, dropping. Was there anything about anything else? Yes, vehicles registration. I drag and drop it, and then there is a question whether I want to. Yes, I will say yes. Okay, so that's done. That's done. Because right now I have got a button which I can click to register customers. I have got a button which I can click to register the drivers. I've got a button which I can click to register loaders, and then small scale groups, and then motor vehicles, and so on. All right. So it becomes very, very easy. But that's not all. There is an advancement. Of course, we want to have things that look like we are the people who did it, or we are in control of whatever we did. So let me show you guys what else is necessary to be done to these buttons. We want to make an improvement to the appearance of this form, and this is only done, of course, in design view. Remember, I was in layout view. Now I want to switch to design view, where I give this form a meaningful title. So details entry form, or details capturing, details entry, let me call it details entry form. And then look at these buttons, look at them. You notice they all have got the names of the forms, the form names. But the user of your system, of course, may not understand what is the meaning of FRM, customer, whatever, and there is no essence, there's no importance of them seeing that. So what you do, of course, this is a navigation button. If you could open the properties sheet, you could notice that this is a navigation button which we have included, and it is just like the command button. So meaning the label appearing on top of the button, the caption appearing on top of the button can be edited. Like now, I'm editing it to read customers registration. The second one, I'm editing it to read something like drivers details entry, driver's details entry. So I'm simply just modifying. Instead of displaying the form name, I'm now editing so that we can have a meaningful name. Remember, you are not the person who will be using this system. It will be used by other people, and therefore we imagine that it should be self-explanatory. The user should be able to know when I click customers registration button, it should be allowing me to get to customers registration. So far, so good. That's not all. There is still some more things that there are those people who like to have spicy things, things that are graphical, things that are appealing. Some of us feel like if I could have added an image there, it could have been better. So how do you achieve that again? So I've selected the first button, and then I'm going to this properties sheet. If it's not available, of course, by double clicking the item that you are handling, it should display the properties sheet. And then under format page, at the format tab, there is that first page that we have there. And the thing we want to add is a picture or a graphic, an icon, which will be alongside or probably at the top depending on where you would like it to appear. So I'm going to say picture alignment, picture caption arrangement. No picture caption, no. This time I want to have my caption appearing at the bottom, and then a picture, an image to appear above my caption. The caption is what I already have, customer's registration. Then I want to attach a picture to appear just above the caption. So that's what I have said, caption alignment to be at the bottom, and then the picture. Where is the picture? I am in the picture row, and then I choose ... to browse. Okay, you may pick one of these icons, but of course they may not bring in the idea that you are having. So you need to first download as many graphics that you may want to use for icons, for bitmap images, and whatever you want to have. So I want to browse. I know I had downloaded some images for my system, and they are mixed. They are mixed up items. There are icons, and we also have got PNG files. I want to just look for any image that might represent a driver, any image that might represent a driver. And of course, we are talking about driver's registration. So let me have this, whatever it means for now, don't mind. I know you will look for better icons depending on the project that you are currently handling. So if I would increase now the height of my button, there is that small image that is appearing there. Of course, the size matters. You know, it is from the source where you get these images from. They'll come with a predefined size, and the one I have just downloaded probably allows that maximum size. What else can we do to these items? These are customer, or these are buttons. Let me just choose all of them. Some of us like spicy, juicy things, and I have selected all of them. Of course, clicking the first one, shift, clicking the subsequent ones will allow you to select all of them. So under format, which is appearing under form design tools, we've got some quick styles that we can apply. I don't want to have them like, you know, can I am feeling like not. Change style. Let me have them ovalish. I may want to have them ovalish, but is it not appearing? Wow, not so good. Let me have rectangle, top rounded corners. That's better for me, but not for you, of course. I know you can have it better than what I have there. Then the color, I want to use that color. And then other things are like what? I can make them look like real images, 3D objects, by making them with bevel or whatever. We'll make them look like they are real images. Okay, so you can see now those are my buttons. Those are my buttons. They may not, of course, be appealing as we would like them to be, but I believe the essence, of course, the idea is that you capture the idea. The main agenda, of course, is to learn how do you apply some of these things easily, so that you don't take too much time. Okay, so if I switch now my form to form view, you see now my buttons, they appear like they are better. Okay, so the modifications that you can do thereafter is to change hover color, for color, so that as you are pointing to the buttons, there is that color which will blend in with the colors that you have applied to the buttons. So this is just one form. Remember, the examiner will ask you, how are you doing data capturing? Are there tasks that are being performed by your system? Are there outputs from your system? Of course, when we talk about outputs, we are referring to the reports. So may I do just one more for illustration? This is just for data entry. This is a form for data entry. Then I just want to do one more for data output. Of course, you can have another category like those reports. The reports form. I'm looking for this icon here, so that I increase the height of my form, not my form, my label above there. So let me first save it, save this one. I want to save it. I want to save it as the name I'm going to give it is a name that I will be able to remember, that this is for details capturing. So I'm calling it FRM details entry navigation form. Okay, FRM details entry navigation form. I do another one very, very fast for details output. You can see this girl, the student, let me not say it's a girl. The student has got several reports, which of course we may want also to have a way of producing these reports. So once more, create and then navigation, and then once more vertical tabs left. So any report which I would like to display now, I just do it just like the way I handled the forms. So that's all farmers. If I have got something like annual summaries, let me just follow the way they are listed here, and then another one, and then drivers lists, and then another one is loading fees, another one is summaries, another one, I believe they are all okay. I don't know, I just want to have them listed there. Okay, vehicle expenses, very wonderful. Then each of them, again, we want to change their appearance, so the field list is not necessary. You can see now the buttons are able to respond. Which report do you want? 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 Like so. Okay. Then in design viewer, of course, you can now go and amend and modify the texts that are appearing on the buttons. You change the captions of the buttons, okay, like so, and then like so, etc. And like we did the other part about adding of graphics, still you can do that. So let's try. I showed the properties sheet, and then we want to add a graphic. We want to have this caption moving to the right, so that I can attach a picture, dot. So I am in format ribbon. I have said caption arrangement, right? And then picture is the one which I want to click dot, so that I look for a picture which is talking about what? Farmers. So have I clicked browse? I had not clicked browse. So resources library is where I have put together all my icons, and I may have an image like I'm going quickly picking, assuming that these are farmers. I just choose that button, and then you can see now the caption is on the right, and then the image is on the left. Let's do it for this other button, annual summaries. Picture, we start with caption alignment is on the right, caption alignment to be on the right, and then what is the picture, dot, so that we look yet for, we browse for another icon to show us the report. Okay, this is a report, annual report. Is it about money? I don't know whether it's, if it was about money, I could have selected that one, that icon that had money. Well. I don't want to take too much time looking for these icons. I just want to pick one at random. Okay, let's assume there's one, that folder that will serve. Okay, so you can see now the captions are there, and then the images are also appearing, the pictures are appearing. Then let's give this this form a meaningful title. Let's call it reports printing stroke display form. Okay, So this is now for displaying reports. We want to have it for displaying of the reports that we have generated in our system. And anytime the user wants to have any report, they'll be coming to this form now and select the report that they are desiring to have. Remember, in the other form I have already demonstrated how you customize the buttons again to make them look like 3D, three-dimension objects, to make them more appealing and more juicy, more appetizing, like that. So that's my second form. And then yes, I want to save it. I will call it FRM output AMA reports. Let's call it reports navigation form. Reports navigation form. Already saved. Now, putting the two together so that we have now the overall main menu. Putting the two forms together so that we have the overall main menu. Remember, I've not also indicated that there should be a form to have a menu, or to display the menu for tasks. What is your project doing? What are the calculations being involved? So again, you can create such another navigation form for all the tasks that your project is performing, what it is supposed to perform. So let's create a third one. Now this third one is the one which will consolidate the two navigation forms into one. So easily I go to navigation, and then this one I'll have it with the horizontal tabs which will appear at the top. Of course, there's no basic reason as to why I've chosen that. It's just a layout to change the monotony. Okay, so the first one was details entry navigation form. So how do we drop it? Drag, then drop at the add new, alongside add new button. And then another one is the reports navigation, drag drop next to, in between the two buttons. You can see where the eye icon is appearing at. Do you want to save whatever? I say yes. Okay. So that way now, I don't know why this customer's form is always being interfered with, but it might be the way it was designed there before. So if I switch to form view, now you can see our form is appearing. When we click this, we are able to go to report, printing and display form, and then any report we are interested with, we are able to interact with it very, very easily, isn't it? And then I want to open a form. I go to FRM details navigation form. So of course, just like the way we did rename, we changed the labels for these other navigation forms, we can also do it here. So I can say details capture. Oh, sorry, I'm running out of power. So very fast, capturing details, capturing navigation form. Okay, let me plug in my charger just briefly. Okay, so we have also, I have also renamed this button reports navigation. So how does it now look like? Let's try the form and see how does it look like. It has got the two tabs, detail capturing. I can probably use the main navigation tool for Microsoft Access. Now you can see we are able to move or to switch between the two scenarios. Details capturing plus the respective forms, okay, and then we have got reports navigation plus the respective reports, So probably with some minor advancements or adjustments to these layouts, you can also be able to add some other buttons like do you want to print the displayed report and so on. However, that we shall preserve for a future video. But there is something that I wouldn't like to leave this session without mentioning. This this window, the way it is appearing, everybody is aware that we are already in Microsoft Access. You know, it's running as a component within Microsoft Access. And, you know, with the new versions of Microsoft Access, we normally find our reports, our forms, our tables, our queries will be arranged here in form of ribbons, whereby we click the tabs so that we access a particular item that we may have interest in. Now, I want us to try to disguise this application that we are designing so that it will run like a window, its own window, as if it were not a component within Access, as if it were an application of its own. So let's try to do that. I switch to design view very fast. And then how do we detach it from appearing as an item among the many ribbons, among the series of ribbons that you might, you know, if we opened another thing here, load as a list. Okay, that one is already modified by the user. If I open, let me close this one. If I open, for example, say a table, you can see now we have got the 2 tabs and so on. So you understand what I mean. Everything that you open will create a series of tabs alongside here. So to avoid that, what we do is to redesign or to do some adjustment to change a property or two to our form. So I'm looking for the properties sheet for our form. When the form is selected, we select it by clicking this tiny square where the 2 rulers intersect, and then properties sheet, and then there are these ribbons: format, data, event, and other. When you go to other, the first 2 options are pop-up and the second one is modal. Pop-up will allow your form to appear like a free window, a window which is floating above, a window which will be running afloat on top of other windows. However, it does not work so well without integrating it with modal. So I also want to change this form to run as modal form and also as a pop-up window. So let's see whether that does what we intend. There we are. We are able to have our window above Microsoft Access, isn't it? So when we maximize, if I maximize, now it is completely hiding Microsoft Access from view. And the good thing about this, you know, setting modal and pop-up together is because you are not allowed to access the other items which might be running in the background. Like now I'm trying to show the navigation pane, I cannot be able, because my form is still active. Remember, what I've done is just minimizing it, hiding it temporarily, right? Then another thing, you saw that when I was opening the form, it came in as a restored window. It did not come as a maximized window. So how can you maximize a window when it is opening initially? The time you are opening it, you want it to come as a maximized window. So again, I go to design view. I'm simply right clicking the header and I go to, so the form is still selected. You know that it is selected by selecting, seeing this dot here, or from the properties sheet, seeing that form option is the one which is active. So I go now to another option under event. Under event, we have got the event which, you know, the time the form is loading. So the event on load, the event on load, there is something that I would want us to attach there. So I'm going to click the build button, the dot, so that we have got the choose builder. What builder do we want to use? I want to use macro builder. Macro builder to attach an action which will be happening on load. When we are loading the form, do the following action. So this action, I scroll, it's about maximize window, maximize window, maximize window. We want the window to come when it is already enlarged. So that's what I have done, adding an action. And then after adding that action, Now you can see the time we are opening the form, every time I'm opening this form, it is already coming in as a maximized window. So I'll close it. Had I saved it? No. So I choose yes for save. We will call it FRM navigation main. FRM navigation main, navigation main form. Okay, so that now from the navigation window I can scroll to look for it, FRM navigation main form. So see the behavior. When I open it, it's already maximized. So the only challenge now is increasing the size of the interior portions of the form, so that again, at least these windows, the interior windows, should also be available. So that can be easily done by switching to design view, and then I first hide temporarily the menu ribbons, then I come to this internal area, then I adjust the widths appropriately and the heights as need be. Okay, so there is the height. So those ones are things which I believe everybody is able to do on their own, so that I do not take too much time on that, because again, you can see when I do it in a rush, I may not be having the best organization. So the title, of course, you can change the title. The system was Movers Transport, what was it? Transport System or something like that. Transport System, Movers Transport System, etc, etc. Can I mention one more thing, the last thing that we can do to improve the appearance of our form? Yes, I should. There is also another thing that I've been desiring to share with you, is like you might have seen applications where there is a clock, a digital clock, which appears say at the top of the system. So you may want to also add a digital clock which is appearing at the top of the form or of your system. So how do you achieve that? That's the one which I want us to deal with very, very fast. So what I'll do, step one, I'm going to drop in from form design. I'm going to drop in a text box. A what? A text box. Then I'm going to remove the label of the text box, so that I have got the text box here. And then I may widen the text box and then give it some bigger font, say for example 16, and then I can fill it with some color like that, and then I can have text with the and certain font. I have chosen Arial Black. I can center, and then say color red for the appearance inside. So then after that, we give this text box a name. We give this text box a name. Under other, we call it TXT for text box. TXT time display. TXT time display. That's the name of the control I have just designed. So we have designed and formatted the control. But now the idea of having this control, of course, is to display the current time. The current time. And we have a function that we call now. But how are we going to use the now function? I believe you have been taught that now is a function which returns the current date plus the current time. The current date and the current time. And just like if we would try it, if we would want to make this control a bound control, if we would want to make it a bound control, this is what it will do. So if I come to data page and then I say let it be using a function called now, open and close bracket, and a control source, and then under format I can tell it to display the long date. Let me see. what it will do. So it's able to display the long date. If I play around with it, you can see there is a way that I can have it not only displaying the date, but also the time. Right? Which option is that? Under format, I'm looking for one which does not only include the date, but also includes the time. There should be an option which does that. Yes, this one, general date. Then I go to form view. So you are able to see now, at the time I was running this form, it was 12th of August and so on, and the time is displayed there. But that is not the end of it. We want it only to display the time, and the time should be running. The time should be running, not just static time, but we want it to be running. So one, to eliminate the part of the date, I'm going to choose either, one of the time formats. Like I like long time. That eliminates the date part to only have me left with the time only. But it's not sufficient yet, because we want time which is dynamic. A digital clock is what we are creating. So I wonder whether you have ever thought of which option you would use for that. In the form, when the form is selected from the properties sheet, there is an event which you normally have. That option is called on timer event. And on timer event, you'll notice that there is timer interval which is normally set to 0 in advance. I had changed it to 100, but you'll find yours being set to 0. Timer interval refers to the duration that we are going to take before another action is taken. So like, for example, to have an interval of a second, I normally like setting this to 100. I normally estimate that to be 1 second. I don't know, that one I have no authority to say what time is this, but I have always seen it like it is equivalent to 1 second. 100, I don't know whether these are milliseconds. So milliseconds, which translates to a second. Then on timer itself now, what action are we going to do? Here I'm going to teach you some little bit of Visual Basic programming. So we are going to choose the option event procedure, and then we click on ... so that we build on our procedure. Okay, so we are in Visual Basic now, but don't worry, even I don't want us to take long in this place because it might be scary to some of you. And then the statement that we are typing in between the two lines where we have found ourselves is me as myself, me dot, full stop, me dot what? TXT, remember we called our control time display. That's what we named our text box. Time display dot value. Time display dot value, press space, is equal to now, open and close parentheses, me.txt time display dot value is equal to now. Because it's a function, you open and close parentheses or ordinary brackets. Okay, then we have closed the Visual Basic. We are through, we are done with it. So I now want to display my form, and then I find there is an error which requires to be debugged. This error which requires to be debugged is not coming from this side. It's not coming from the side of what we have typed. What we have typed, highlighted in yellow, if you typed it like myself, then it might be correct. The error is generated because our control, I did not remember to get into the control and then unbind it, make it an unbound control. It is already bound to a control source, and that is why no change which can be taken made to it, because it's already a bound control. So I want to detach it from the function which we bound it to, and then after that it becomes unbound. So you should also do likewise if you do not want to see that error. And then you go to form view, and there you are. and that works the magic of having running time. So you can see the time is here updating itself automatically. However, the cursor can get in there. And you can see there can be mess. So what we do to such a control where we don't want anybody to interfere with, when it is selected like that, then on data ribbon of the properties sheet, set enabled to no, and when it is only disabled, it will appear funny, but you also set locked yes. Enabled no, locked yes. So anytime any fellow would like to click in there to do any adjustment of time, they will not be able to achieve that. So we have said so much. I'm closing this form so that I say the last thing. We also want a scenario where now, when we are opening our database from the source where it is stored at, we would like it to just open the main form directly. Okay, so how do we achieve that so that it takes us not to other places? Of course, you can choose another form. You can create a welcome form. From the welcome form now, it welcomes the main form, so you can have a series of forms like that. But I want us to have a scenario where we can determine which form will be displayed immediately we open our database. So to achieve that, I'm going to File, Menu, and then Options, and then there are the options General, Current Database, and so on. Current Database is what I want. Display form. Whenever we start our database, what form do we want to have in display? The form that we have just designed. FRM navigation main form. FRM navigation main form. And then I choose OK. And then I'm told you must close and reopen the current database and so on. Yes, do it. And then I close it. Okay, I close it. Then where is my database? I go to where my database is stored in. I'm forgetting where I have stored this database. Yes, it's around here. So this is a database. I open it from the source. Good, perfect. So you can create other buttons like quit the application if you do not want the user to mess around with the navigation and so on. So guys, this is what I wanted us to share, how you create a menu form for navigation purposes. You can see when I click data capturing, I'm able to see the different forms that have been designed in my database for data capture. I can also have reports. I go to report navigation, then I click on which report do I want to access. So guys, whatever is remaining is just improving the interface, making it look more appealing, making it look superb and more presentable, more real, and I believe you are able to handle that. Otherwise, thank you very much for tuning in to the Computer Lab YouTube channel. If you have liked our video, just remember to subscribe to our channel. Tell others about it by sharing. Leave a comment down there. And don't forget to keep checking for more videos, because I can tell you for sure more nice things are on the way coming. This is Teacher Shadrach. I say stay safe and blessed.